Hello, hello, hello. Oh, forgot. Microphone. It's pointing the other way. Hello, 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 and welcome to episode 332 of Prog Review. And you haven't read the title and description. I'm talking about Phil Manzanera's The Sound of Blue. It's a new one. It's a new album. We've done some Manzanera in the past, haven't we? Yeah, you familiar with him? He plays the old banjo with the Roxy music. You know those guys, no? Anyway, Phil Manzanera is a particular favourite guitarist of mine. Does interesting things with the guitar. Well, I like him. He appeals to me, and I wasn't really sure what to think of this new record. It wasn't really on my radar, so when they said it was coming out, signed up, because sometimes he does good albums and sometimes he does all right albums. So I'm never too keen. I always wait till the record arrives before I start waving my flag, as it were. This one is meant to be like a musical journey, a musical memoir of his life. And again, starts with the track Magdalena, which is named after his mother. You go on this journey. It is infused with South American grooves and stuff. Because Phil Manzanera, he started his life in South America. I mean, there's a track here called 1960 Caracas. I went Caracas once. The missus didn't put any sugar in my tea. Sent me bonkers, it did. That was a joke. But seriously, I went to Crackers when I was a wee lad, before my father ran off with that whore. It was meant to be like a conciliatory holiday, and Caracas is in Venezuela. My endearing memory was being in this big hotel complex, and it was like amazing. And the outside was this dirt track, and nothing. Rich and poor. And there's a track. I'm getting off the subject. I'm bragging about all the places I've been. Now I just walk backwards and forwards to the school. I go nowhere now. I'm a nowhere man. But save your tears. We're doing a review. And then we have the title track of Sound of Blue. Now these are mainly instrumental tracks. There are some vocals. Sonia Bernardo provides the vocals for 1960 Crackers, but most of it is instrumental. Now you've got to like Phil Manzanera. You've got to like his brand of guitar and his brand of instrument. Now each one of these I enjoy. I enjoyed this album. I got a lot from it. I found it great fun. It was a fun album, if an album can be fun. I wasn't expecting a lot, and it nourished me as a guitar player. I could listen to him play. Again, it's not a great album. It's not as good as 6 p.m., which I thought was probably a high watermark for him. That was back in 2004, 11 years ago. Where's the time gone? That album I thought was really good. It's not quite up there with that, but it's still a lot better than his more recent stuff. I mean, the last one was Firebird? Was it Firebird? I always get the Roman numeral. Firebird 7 or 8? I can never remember. Firebird 6? No, I know VIII something. It's like Rocky X, isn't it? I'm going. Yeah, I didn't think much of that one, the Firebird one. I thought it was, it's kind of a bit wishy-washy. But I thought this one was a bit more grounded. And again, when he does the the South American thing. It's quite good. It's not gonna be for everyone. Some of you may find it a bit boring. Some of you might go. You've got to, like I say, enjoy this style of music. Track 9's good fun. It's called In Conversation with Andy Mackay. If you don't know Andy Mackay, he plays the toot toot with Roxy Music. Yes, he does. And it starts off with a phone conversation with them, which is it's funny. It tickled me. Is it Brian with a Y or Brian with an I? Indeed. And then the album there's a great twist at the end, and you're going, "How a twist? Is this a film? Is there a plot?" No, there's a twist. I know all of you are great fans of Kanye West, aren't you? And Jay-Z. I know you all get down to their grooves. Well, anyway, those guys, they sampled Mr. Manzanera way back, a few years back. And I've realised it when I was watching the trailer to The Great Gatsby by Baz Luhrmann, because the director Baz Luhrmann, because he used the track in the trailer, and there's the figure from K-Scope, which is an album song done by Mr. Manzanera, and I thought that sounds like Phil Manzanera, and they'd actually sampled him, Jay-Z and old Kanye, because we like that. He lets me call him Kanye. They sampled Mr. Manzanera for a song called No Church in the Wild. Now, what Mr. Manzanera did was he thought, I'll have some of that, I'll cover them, and he did. He covered them. He took all the rap bits out, and he's produced a quite a cool version of it. So I thought that was really, really cool. And he says, actually, I was reading an interview, and he says that he's owed a 6-figure sum for the use of that sample. He hasn't been paid yet. He's still waiting on it, but he's sure that they'll make good. But yeah, so that's a really interesting twist to the end of the album. So maybe when Kanye plays Glastonbury, because I know everybody's really clean. I know I think there's been some sort of petition saying how everyone's so happy that Kanye West is playing Glastonbury. Maybe if Mr. Phil will jump up on stage and lay down some groovy guitar for him. That would be most excellent. So it's an interesting record. I liked it. I didn't like it was kind of, there's hardly any packaging to it. I know packaging isn't everything, but this is just. Shall I show you? That's the front. That's the back. That's the insert. That's the gatefold. That's not the insert. This is the insert. Oh, where is the insert? Is there an insert? Yes, there is. Get a little booklet. See, and it tells you all about each of the tracks and what each one of them means, because each one's, again, it's a very personal album, and I like that. I thought it was nice, and again, it's about places he's been, locations and that, and so it talks about there. See, here he is with the Roxy, and there are all the people that worked on it. But yeah, my complaint is it's just a bit flimsy. And I like cardboard normally, but I'm worried it's going to, over the years, it's just going to get crumpled up. It needed a bit more, I don't know, just needed a bit more for your, this is like a $7.99 jobby, and I paid $11.99 for it. Normally his packaging's a little bit better than this. I'm moaning, aren't I? I'm finding fault where there really isn't one. But yeah, Phil Manzanera, I really like him as a guitarist. Some of his stuff, like the Impossible guitar album, is just really, really cool. I think he needs more love. You're not necessarily going to like this. You might find it a bit dull in places, but for old guitar farts like me, there's a lot to be got from it. And it swings. It's very, very good. It's I thought it was a really good record. And you've got to remember, this Phil Manzanera fella, he's mostly responsible for that Pink Floyd album, that last one, You know, the one that was all glued together with the musical glue. Because Mr. Phil, he did a rough. He went through all the master tapes, all the tapes of those sessions for Division Bell, and he came up with a rough version which he presented to Dave Gilmour. He said, "Look, you could do this," and they said, "Okay," and they did it, and that's why he gets a co-producer credit. So, you know, big up Mr. Phil. In terms of a rating, I mean, I really did enjoy it. I thought it was really good fun. It was like I said, it was fun. Not often albums are fun, you know. A lot of miserable stuff around, but I really did. It just felt right to me. It just felt right. I'm feeling generous. I'm going to give this. 4 Rosemullion heads out of 5. That's 4 Rosemullion heads out of 5. And I'm being generous. Normally I'd score it 3 because I think the packaging is a little bit, you know, bit pony, you know. But I'm feeling generous. I've enjoyed listening to this. Listened to it on the way back from walking to school today. It was good. It really put a spring in my step, and I needed that. I really did. So yeah, do check out Mr. Phil. He's really very good. So that's it. My name's been Darren Rock, and I've been talking about Mr. Phil Manzanera's The Sound of Blue. It's his latest album, and he did it for you. Don't forget, we've got the social media, the Twitface, and the Google Plus, and the Patreon, www.patreon.com/lock. I should really put that up, shouldn't I, really push the Patreon. Push the Patreon, because the YouTube ain't paying. And that's that. I'm really glad you enjoyed the Asia review last time. You are meant to laugh at it. It was meant to be comedy. It was meant to be funny. But I was mortally harmed by losing that money to those records. But no, you are meant to enjoy it, and you are meant to find it. You're meant to be amused. Remember, these little videos are for your entertainment. I'm here to entertain you like your dancing monkey. So please be entertained. And again, don't necessarily, you don't have to agree with me, but go off and explore these records I talk about and find out for yourself. But I am always right, you know that. And on that, there's only one more thing to say. You know what that is. Are you ready? Good. Prog on.